Hi, we are back. Thanks for staying with us and joined now direct from Miami from Mr. Jeffrey Binder. He's the chairman and CEO of a company called CLS Holdings USA Incorporated. Their stock symbol CLSH. Jeffrey, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you, Don. It's always good to speak with you.
Now, we've been engaged in a fascinating series of interviews over the recent weeks about CLS Holdings. You had compared the company one time to a chair, and we had discussed the legs of the chair, the first of those being profit. The second leg of that chair is testing, consistency, and labeling. Can you tell us more about that, please?
Yes, Don. It is very important that we as an industry, a cannabis industry, develop good testing and labeling, not only procedures, but uniformity across state lines. There is no federal regulation as far as testing and labeling at this time. It is state regulated, and because of that, states have different requirements as far as testing and labeling, and even within states, there is no consistency. So good practices determine that you always start with testing. So we must start with testing the raw cannabis plant as it is delivered for extraction and conversion. We need to establish standard operating procedures of what those tests are and what those tests are for. We need to test for pesticides. We need to test for heavy metals within the plant. Once we know what's in the plant, then we need to have standard operating procedures as how to clean those materials from the plant, and we need to test the plant at the end of the process as it's turned into an oil or an edible, so we can label it properly. Labeling it properly means we need to divulge on the label all of the different cannabinoids that are contained within whatever the finished product is. And we need to do that with specificity. We need to say how many milligrams per gram or milligrams per milliliter of each one of the cannabinoids are contained in the product, so the consumer knows what they're going to be putting into their system. This isn't being done on a uniform basis today, but it's not unusual for new industries to go through this, what I call learning curve. So we intend as a company, having established these standards, to share them with the industry so we can establish a gold standard for the industry.
Now, I know there's a number of products that can be created from cannabis extracts. Do you plan to engage that side of the industry as well?
Yes, as I spoke to, I think, in our last session, we will be a one-stop shop. So we will take the plant from the ground all the way through the finished product process, and we will be have the ability to really create whatever our client or the company that we're processing for would like us to create. In our facility, we're going to have a bake shop, so we can do edibles. We will have a line for e-cigarette fluids. We will be able to do wax, shatter, or really anything that our customer would like us to turn their product into as far as a finished product is concerned.
Well, Jeffrey, you once had a conversation with me off the air where you said that cannabinoids parallel the human endosystem, which I just found to be riveting. Can you explain that further?
Yeah, as far as I know, and again, I'm not a scientist, the cannabis plant is the only plant that parallels our endocannabinoid system. And what that means is we produce naturally in our bodies cannabinoids that are also produced by the plant itself. That's one of the reasons why it's impossible to overdose on cannabis, because our body produces the same things as we're ingesting when we ingest the various cannabinoids from the cannabis plant. So unlike other materials or other substances we put in our body, like alcohol, which you can overdose on, scientifically, to my knowledge, it's been proven that you cannot overdose on cannabis. So with it hitting the same neurons as some of the things we naturally produce in our body, we are just beginning, or the science is just beginning, to explore the possible medical benefits that the plant can provide us with. And that's very exciting to us in the industry because we believe we're just beginning to scratch the surface on all of the benefits that as we study the cannabis plant, we can learn and provide good medical products for people in need. So that's something that we're looking forward to.
Again, the company is CLS Holdings USA Incorporated. Their stock symbol CLSH. Jeffrey, fabulous update. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Don.